the meeting to order at 5:30. The minutes note that Trustee Martin is absent today. And we need to remove item 12O from the agenda. So that is the second reading of BP and AR 6143 courses of study. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as amended? Can I get a second?
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with 1 absent. We will now convene to closed session. Call the meeting to order at 6:11. Report of action taken in closed session. Item 1, case number 2223-07-SD. Can I get a motion?
I'll move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Trustee Wing.
Yes. Item 2, case number 2324-05-SE. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Trustee Wing.
Yes. Item 3, case number 2324-06-SE. Can I get a motion to approve?
I move.
I second. Oops, sorry.
Roll call.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Nelson,
Yes.
Trustee Wing.
Yes. Item 4, case number 2324-07-SD. Can I get a motion to approve?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Trustee Wing.
Yes. Item 5, 2324-08-SD. Can I get a motion to approve?
I approve. I move.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Trustee Wing.
Yes. Item B, our flag salute. Can we get the students from Thomas Page Academy to come up?
Can everyone please stand up? Put your right hand over your heart. And we're going to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which we stand, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
All right. Wonderful. All right. Now we have special recognitions and presentation. I would like to invite Cindy Pilar up to do Marguerite Hahn recognition of PLCs. Hi, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Cindy Pilar. I am the Executive Director of the California Principal Support Network. And the California Principal Support Network, or CAPS Network as it's called, is a professional development opportunity offered to schools and districts throughout California. And Cotati-Rohnert Park School District has been involved in the CAPS Network for about 4 years. And to be honest with you, they are some of our highest achievers in implementing the work that we talk about. We are completely focused on helping schools develop as a professional learning community, which in a nutshell is really practices and procedures in schools that are built on some of the most powerful research in our field, in the field of education. We call the science of our field. And it demonstrates that changes in school culture and changes in adult behaviors can have long-lasting impacts, positive impacts on student achievement. And I'm here tonight because one of your schools, Marguerite Hahn Elementary School, applied to be a national model PLC school, and they were selected, and we are very honored to welcome them into the National Model PLC School Consortium, which only consists of about 686 schools across the nation. I thought before I present the award, I thought the board might want to understand a little bit about the criteria and how this award is determined. First of all, in essence, in our work in the CAPS network, in our work in implementing professional learning communities, or PLCs as they're called, what we're really doing is redesigning a school system that was never designed for the students that we currently serve. This involves getting absolute clarity on what we want students to know and be able to do. It involves using common assessments to determine which students learned and which students did not, and then using that data, creating effective systems of intervention for those students who need more time and support, as well as effective extensions for those students who've already reached proficiency. As I mentioned, there are only 686 schools as of this week that have been identified as a national model. The review committee is a national committee that's made up of some of the most respected educators in the country. Many of us know who they are. They are best-selling authors. They have been practitioners in their schools who have done massive turnarounds in their own schools, and they also teach this work. The schools must provide it's an extensive application, a written application, and they have to provide evidence of effectiveness. They can't just tell the committee what they're doing, they have to show the committee what they're doing. And that includes, they must demonstrate 3 years of significant improvement in student achievement, and they also must submit evidence in changes in adult behavior that are research-based, and that they have implemented strong and effective systems of support for students, as well as systems of enrichment and extension for those students who are already proficient. That evidence, of course, is all of the data that they have, including both state and local data. The evidence for adult behavior changes includes videos. It includes all kinds of hyperlinks to the documents that are occurring during collaboration time, and that are evidence that they are actually implementing the work that's impacting student achievement. As we know, student achievement is a lagging indicator. The first thing that happens in a school is changes in adult behaviors, and the second thing that happens is an impact on student learning. As a model school, you agree to you are in a database on a website called All Things PLC, and there are very few California schools that have been so identified, by the way. We have probably the least identified than any other state in the nation. And you agreed that other schools can contact you, can come and visit you, so that they too can learn about the changes that they can make to have these kinds of results. I would first, before we recognize Hahn, I just really want to recognize the district for your commitment to this work. In particular, Superintendent Turi, Assistant Superintendent Fields have been incredibly supportive of these schools. They have attended our sessions. They know very clearly what the challenges are and what the possibilities are. So to have the partnership with the district has made all the difference in the work that's going on in the Cotati-Roanoke Park schools in this arena. And while Marguerite Hahn is being recognized today, I also want to say that all of your schools are doing fantastic work around this. How do I know? Because they create action plans after every single session, and they must bring artifacts and evidence that they are actually implementing this. And we are very impressed with the progress that they are making. So with that, it's a great honor for me to recognize Marguerite Hahn Elementary School as the next recipient of the National Model Professional Learning Community School. So Rachel, here you are. I'm here for any questions, but Rachel, you can.
I just want to say I put a little invitation on all of your places. We're going to celebrate as a school with having a read-in next Wednesday. If you're available and want to come read a book to a class of students, we would love to have you there. I'm really proud of our district. Thank you for supporting this work. I want to highlight the teachers that are here, but also our teachers who didn't make it, and they really put in the work to make this change and facilitate increasing student learning. So thank you guys. If you have any questions, I can take them, but mostly just thank you.
I do have one question, and either of you can answer it. So, Cindy, when you were talking, you said adult behavior changes. So we hear a lot about how students have changed. We don't hear much about adult behavior changes. What exactly does that mean? Are you saying that the teachers have to show evidence that they have changed their teaching styles or modified it to be more effective to specific students? Or what is adult behavior changes for the PLC?
So one of the things that we look at is they have really like a whole list of things that move you from kind of a traditional school that we were all part of to being a model PLC school. Like one of those changes is having a focus on learning instead of a focus on teaching. So in the past, we would teach, assess, teach. And now it's like teach, stop, assess. Come on, let's go. Teach, stop. Oh man, you're back. Okay, let's go back. Okay, here we go. So it's more of like, how are our students getting it? And then when they're not, it's these educators sitting around a table on Wednesdays that all of our elementary schools, I think our upper schools do too, and problem solving for a half hour and being like, what are we going to do collectively? So it's no longer the pressure of, these are my students in my class and I have to solve all the world's problems. It's now, these are our students at our school, and how are we going to increase student learning for all of them? So it's just changing the framework, and I think our district has replicated that too in changing the structure of giving teachers some time to allow for them to be the professionals to make the changes.
Great. And then are the assessments, I'm old school. When I think of assessment, I think of a test, and it's a piece of paper and write out what you know. So for the PLC, kind of to be a model PLC school, are assessments done in all kinds of different ways, like the traditional test, but then also hands-on and verbal? And is that kind of part of the meeting a student where they're at is, my team might be great at a paper test and I may be a lot better at a presentation. So is that kind of part of the assessment as well?
Yeah, and so we take into account, like, we want to know that they're learning it. And so if we're like, math is a great way for us to look at this, because right now there's so many word problems in math, right? So if we just give a kid a word problem, are they really understanding the math that we want them to do? Or is it a skill deficiency? So one of the things that we've done is we've broken down the standards into learning targets. So each standard may have 5 learning targets. And then we're going to assess each of those learning targets to figure out where the kids are at. And there's entry points for each one of those rungs on the ladder. And so if the entry point is, I can just identify this as a fraction, that might be that here's a pizza, or it could be, here's some flashcards, or it could be the conversation. And then as they go up and they build their skills, they're doing the word problem. And that's the standard that we have to ultimately assess them on. But we're getting there through all these other pieces that really we're making it so that they can't fail. Because often I think, like, if you go back to traditional school, we would just assess at the standard. And we don't necessarily know where their gap is. So it really helps us get their gap. And yes, we can assess different ways for different kids, but by the time we've filled those rungs, they're ready for this and what the standard is asking for them.
That's cool. Any other questions or no? Thank you both, and thank you to all I know this takes an amazing amount of work on our educators' part as well, so thank you for your commitment and time and dedication to the students and to the program. Appreciate it.
Thanks, you guys.
Oh, hold on. I have Next, we have Thomas Page Academy coming up about the co-taught schools. So I'd like to invite up Principal Lindsay Brahman. Where is she? Are you guys coming?
Not a map, so you know. Can't remember how to use a non-Mac. There we go. Awesome. Okay. Good evening, trustees and Superintendent Ituri and everyone. Thank you so much for letting us be here tonight. We're really excited. My name is Lindsay Broden. I'm the principal of Thomas Page Academy. And we are, it looks kind of funny, but sorry, just noticing that. But we are Thomas Page Academy. We are the Cotati School in Cotati-Rohnert Park Unified School District, and so we're very proud to represent the city of Cotati. We're a TK through 8th grade school, which is unique and a really sweet environment for our students and families that we get to know and serve for up to 10 years, and it's a real honor and blessing for us. We're super excited to be here to share with you about our co-taught program. And I'm joined by some amazing educators that I'm just so humbled and proud to work with. And they're going to talk to us all about what our co-taught program is. So I'm really excited to hear what they have to say, and I'm going to introduce them to you. A little bit about our co-taught program is that this is our second year of implementation. And after the first year of implementation, we won the County SELPA Award for the spirit of education in special education and in inclusivity. So we're very, very proud of that. All right, so with me here are our teachers for our co-taught program. I'm joined by Corinne DeFonte. She is the education specialist for our TK class. And Jennifer Bluebird, she's the general education teacher for the TK class. And Amy Saunders, she is the education specialist for our kindergarten co-taught class. And Elise Pearson, she is the general education teacher for our kindergarten co-taught class. And I would be remiss if I did not recognize and appreciate our wonderful paraprofessional staff who serves in the program. We love them. They're very talented, loving people, and that's Fabiola Duran, Avis Thompson, Reina Cardenas, Eva Escobar, and we're very appreciative of them and their work. Our program specialist at the district level who supports our program is Alexis Gebb, and our leader, our fearless leader in special education, all things special education, and who really spearheaded and inspired the co-taught program is our director of special education, Rachel Allen, who has been a great support for us too. So thank you all. Let them take it from here.
Perfect. So a little intro to what is co-taught. A co-taught class means that there is 2 fully credentialed teachers in the classroom at all times, so 1 teacher with a special education credential and 1 with a general education credential. And this is to support a classroom with a higher population of IEPs than you may find in a typical classroom. And I'm sure most teachers are thinking, well, all classes have students with IEPs, and that is correct. Co-teaching, especially in our classrooms, really is focusing on those students whose IEPs require a full day of specialized academic instruction. So their service minutes are looking at, 1,200 minutes weekly versus maybe just 360. And so previously those students may have gone to an SDC class, and this allows them to be with their general education peers for the full day. But like I mentioned, both teachers are in the classroom the whole time to support all children, and we really mean all. We try to really flip-flop between roles seamlessly, so all of the students know that both teachers in the classroom are their teachers, they're people they can go to, and they're people that they can learn from. Having those different backgrounds and expertise allows us to really learn from each other and improve our ability to plan supports for all areas of child development. And you might be asking yourself, why? Why do this? What is the data showing? And the data is really good for all children in a co-taught program. It shows that students with IEPs end up having higher academics, they have higher achievement in math, in language arts, and on standardized tests. It also shows that you can utilize peer supports in an inclusive classroom where students are relying on each other rather than just relying on the teacher for support. And it builds opportunities for leadership, it increases academic achievement and assignment completion. And then for students that do not have IEPs, it also is beneficial for them. They are shown to have higher reading scores as well, higher math scores in inclusive settings, mainly because there are so many adults in the room to support, but also such a wide range of skills and abilities that provide a really great opportunity for students to learn.
All right, so how do we meet student needs and promote inclusion in a co-taught classroom? So when we're talking about inclusion, we're talking about every child, regardless of disability or ability, being included in our classroom and the way that we plan it. We have additional adults in the classroom that's been touched on a few times, and that's one of the ways that we meet our wide range of student needs. We also have sensory tools outside of our shared classroom space. We have a sensory tent with sensory tools in it, a calm corner, and flexible seating. We also have additional communication supports. We have both paper and digital communication boards for our children to use to communicate with teachers and peers, and visuals embedded throughout the environment. When we read books, we highlight characters who have different communication and sensory needs. Some of our favorite books are at the bottom of this slide on our little digital bookshelf. We focus heavily on social emotional and communication skills, getting weekly push-in support from our school psychologist and our speech-language pathologist. And with these supports in mind, students with disabilities can develop social, behavioral, and academic skills that they need to find success in a general education classroom, and general education peers can develop into welcoming and inclusive children and adults who don't grow to fear anyone with a disability. And last year, as was already touched on, the TK Co-Taught won the Spirit of Education Award that was granted through the Sonoma County SELPA, which recognized programs that reflect inclusionary practices for students with disabilities and/or at-risk students.
So with co-taught, there's so many opportunities, which makes it such a great class to have. So one of them, there's 2 teachers that we mentioned all day long, and we have many opportunities with small groups or target skills for all of our students. So they'll have increased social emotional learning for all students, as well as communication and language services and elements of occupational therapy and sensory activities. Students from our previous TK co-taught are leaders within the classroom, so they're the ones setting the examples for the classroom, helping our kiddos out because they already worked with some of these kiddos and understand what they did last year, so it's really awesome to have them in our class being those leaders for us. And then students are working still toward grade level Common Core state standards, social emotional development and communication skills. And then lastly, collaboration is very embedded, which makes it really awesome to have someone to co-taught and plan everything that we spend together and share all our preps. And this leads to reflective opportunities to strengthen practices that benefit all children. And as a first year teacher, it's really awesome opportunity for me to be in a co-taught environment and learning about IEPs, working with Gen Ed kids, and it's just been a really great class.
I think it's clear to see that our educators are very passionate about our co-taught program and that they really care about our students and about inclusive educational practices. And I'm very, very grateful to them for that because they're wonderful to work with and a great representation of our school. So thank you. Our co-taught program, what we've discussed about it tonight, clearly aligns with our LCAP goals as a district. I think that it really aligns with the goal of academic achievement for all students. And I think that individualized instruction and targeted instruction that all students get within a co-taught class is very unique and an awesome opportunity for academic achievement. And I think that it supports goal 2 as well in implementing a broad course of study that meets all students' needs, general education students as well as students with IEPs. And I believe that our programs are so supportive that they do meet LCAP goal number 3 in maintaining optimal learning environments for all students. And a lot of that is due to our amazing staff and the parents who have really partnered with us and our district special education team and our district leadership and really the whole Thomas Page community who has rallied around this program and made it a really positive thing for our entire school. I just want to finish by saying that every day, pretty much, I have our middle school age students coming to me at lunch and recess, and I haven't even told you this, asking if they can go and help and serve in your classrooms. And so these are 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds wanting to be part of this program and wanting to serve and be alongside these students and these awesome teachers. And I think that says a lot when you have that age group requesting in their free time to go and be in your classrooms. I think that really reflects something amazing happening. So we're very, very happy and proud that we get to have this program at Thomas Page Academy. Do you have any questions?
Go first.
Is this going to continue with this group that's now in kindergarten into first grade, or is?
That's a great question. I know that. I don't know. We would be supportive of that for sure. But Rachel Allen, Director of Special Education, is going to help with that question.
Thanks, Rach. I'm glad to hear that you guys would be supportive of it. We really need to, that's the planning that we're doing right now, is looking at all of the students that are, so we also have a co-taught class at UALF, and looking at the students that are in the co-taught kindergarten class and the progress that they've made and what their goals are and determining what things will look like in first grade. So the short answer is we don't know yet. It's going to be based on the needs of the kiddos in the class and decisions that we'll be making with families about what they need in order to continue to progress and grow. But the intention is not necessarily to continue this level of support throughout their educational career, but more to really embed a deep, rich, supportive environment at the early grades to foster their independence and that they wouldn't necessarily need this intensive level of support as they move on. So, not an easy question to answer.
Thank you.
And I'm so
how
glad
many
to stand by
students
these wonderful people. Say it again.
How many students in each class
That's
in the
what I was
TK and in kindergarten?
Yeah. We have 23 in our TK class and 19 in the kindergarten class.
Super, thanks.
Yeah. And then we have another kindergarten class as well at our school. So, and they're not co-taught. So we love the model. I think it's awesome. And I think our families do as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. community schools presentation. Maite Turi.
I'm hoping I get the right one. Okay. Okay. Hi, everyone. So a couple of months ago, I brought the concept of community schools to the board as an item for information, and that we were eligible to apply for 5 grants for 5 of our schools: John Reed, Richard Crane, Tech Middle, El Camino, and Thomas Page. So our RIPSIA president, Lisa Bauman, and I went on a tour of all the schools and shared the information with all the staff, and the staffs were agreeable to pursue these grants. And we also met with parents and staff and really tried to build some momentum and agreements about some of the things that schools might need. And so tonight, I just want to share with you the progress that we made and where we are. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the community schools concept, just to remind people about what community schools are. Review the process that we went through. Talk a little bit about the goals for the grant. We are in the final stages of finalizing them. I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. We're about 85% ready to go. So you have seen a draft of them. And then I'm going to ask for your support and approval of moving the grant forward to the CDE on February 2nd is our target date. So as a reminder, the 4 pillars are integrated student support, expanded enriched learning opportunities, active family and community engagement, and collaborative leadership and practices. So those integrated supports are the health and welfare, the social emotional well-being of students, and bringing in our partners to help make that happen. Because we as a school system can't do it all, but we do need the support of our community and our nonprofits to be able to help our students. We have a really robust expanded learning opportunity here. Elena Mars leads an amazing program for our students after school. We have the YMCA, we have the Boys and Girls Club, we have outside providers providing all kinds of opportunity. I think we have a ballet folklorico group happening, we have a fencing group happening, so at all the schools there's a wide variety of opportunities. The other pillar is to increase family participation. We need to create spaces to make sure that our families feel welcome and that they feel like they can participate in their child's education. And that's sometimes a struggle for schools. They're not sure how to bring families in, not sure the times and the dates and all the things to make all those pieces work. And this is an opportunity to really bring in some staff that can help our schools and our school leaders do that work. It's also, the last pillar is collaborative leadership, so that we're really working on starting to create more leadership, to distribute our leadership, creating more opportunities for those community organizations to have some input, our families to have input, and for teacher voice, so that we're hearing all those voices at the table, right? To create, I think Shirley Chisholm said, when they don't have a seat at the table for you, bring a folding chair. So we don't want that to be the case. We want to have a seat at the table for people. Community schools have indicated that there's lower absenteeism because there's more engagement. And I think that's one, and we have dramatically decreased our absenteeism rate here in Cotati-Rohnert Park, but we need to be better at it still. We need to get better there. We need kids to show up. There are better work habits, there's improvement in test scores, higher enrollment in college classes, and higher graduation rates, because we're also taking care of the whole child. We're not solely focusing on the academics, because we know kids are coming to us with all kinds of stuff, and focusing on what's happening in the classroom sometimes is not easy, but if we can help tend to some of those things that they're having to struggle with, that we can then help support them in their academic pursuit as well. And our families need the support too, quite frankly, right? So we have our Family Resource Center at John Reed, which is seeing families pretty regularly, coming in from everything from food and housing insecurity, social emotional well-being, mental, physical health, immigration. There's just a list, job applications, just a list of things that the Family Resource Center is able to support. They're doing some art classes during February. So they're offering a number of supports. And they are also willing to go to the other school sites and help the principals bring in more parents by maybe being there and having a morning cafe where parents can come in and hear about the resources that the Family Resource Center offers. Excuse me, hold on. I'm learning how to use this. So, the process that we went through. We've had a series of meetings, as I mentioned earlier. We've been to staff meetings, parent meetings, student meetings, staff meetings. We've held 2 district meetings. The attendance was fantastic. We had about 40 people, and this was some of the work that the school sites did. They started to identify the things that they need, and then started to identify some potential solutions. We took all that data to then help us write the grants. So then we met a second time, and they made updates. What are some of the things? What did we miss? What else are we hearing that might be of need? And as you can imagine, the social emotional health of everyone is what rose to the top in most schools. So this is where I have to change things around here. So let me see if I can make this happen. Remember the steps. All right. So I just want to share with you some of the things that the school sites identified. Each school qualifies for somewhere between $150,000 and $250,000 if over a 5-year period. Now, this is a grant process, it's competitive, lots of people are going after this money, nothing is guaranteed. So John Reed would like to...
Can you control plus it a couple times to make that bigger?
I will do my very best. Did that work?
Yeah, a couple more. There we go.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the tip. So John Reed would like to have a classified staff person they have a wellness center, but they need somebody in the wellness center. They also would like they have a counselor, but they would like to increase that counselor's time. They also would like to support the Family Resource Center, whose funding will run out in August. So we are looking for grants to help keep those doors open. John Reed would like some of their funds to make sure that those doors stay open. Also, some supplies for the Wellness Center. Thomas Page is looking for a community liaison. They have one currently. They want to pair this funding to increase. There is a match for the grant, so these matches of pairing people and increasing their job would allow for that to happen. They would like a mental health professional, could be a social worker, an interventionist to help with the support, academic support, and a behaviorist that currently exists. Some of them are new jobs, and there may be some job descriptions that have to be written for some of the jobs that we're looking at. And we'll work with our labor partners to make sure that happens. Richard Crane is looking for a teacher on special assignment to help with some of the things that we've discussed about making sure kids are connected to resources, supporting teachers. And they'd also like an intervention teacher to provide more support, more academic support, and increase their counseling support. And then some for professional development, some extra pay for certificated. These are not completely fleshed out. They're close, but not completely. This is still a draft. Tech High would like a school community liaison. They want to staff their wellness center. Again, they have a wellness center and they're only able to staff it part-time. And then they want some after-school programming. They've identified that as a big need for the Tech middle school students, is to have something for them after school. So, and then El Camino, which is not listed here, they would like a navigator, what we're calling a navigator. They are finding that students are, they're showing up to class, they're doing the work, but their outside needs are greater than what the small staff at El Camino can provide. So they'd like somebody to connect the students with outside resources. They want somebody to help them plan their path when they leave, when they graduate from high school. Somebody who can help them with the social emotional health needs. Somebody who might be able to help them fill out a job application, excuse me, a job application, or whatever their identified need is, because there've been, thank you so much. That's one thing that small staff, and they've built amazing relationships with those students, but those kids, those are the things that they identified for their students. So that's just a little bit about what we have, what we've been working on. I want to thank, I really want to thank Lisa Bauman and Tony Beal for helping make this work happen. And the principals have been amazing, and the teaching staffs have shown up, and the parents have shown up, and the students have shown up to help get this across the finish line. We will probably find out in the spring if we were successful with any of the 5 grants. So, any questions that you might have?
So
Mr.
it's 5
Trustee
different
Nelson.
grants?
Pardon me?
It's going to be 5 different grants, one for each school?
Yes. We thought that we could apply as a district, but we did not qualify. We didn't have the right number to qualify as a district. So we ended up having to apply as 5 separate schools. So there were 5 grants, yes.
So 2 additional questions about the grants. So when we apply or write up for a grant approval, we submit like our needs and what we're looking for? And do they say, yes, we'll grant 100%, or how does that work? Or we'll give you 80%, or we'll give you 50%? How is that determined?
In these grants, it's based on your ADA, so how many students are, so each school is identified in a certain range.
Okay.
So El Camino is a smaller school site, 150, but they would fund it that 100%.
Okay, so they wouldn't say like, you want 150, we'll
Right.
give you 70 or
No,
something
I believe
like
that they will fund it the full 150% based on the ADA of the
And you
school.
said that 85% is ready to go to the CDE, so it's going to be coming from the Department of Education?
It's the Department of Education is the grant, yes. They've put a significant amount of money towards community schools. This is round 2.
Okay.
And we could have waited till next year, but there was rumor that funding was starting to diminish.
Yes.
So we pushed it out the door a little quicker as quick as we could.
And
Thank
is
you.
this it's a reoccurring grant? Once you get it, it's a 5-year grant?
5 years. So for
Okay.
4 years, you're funded at the full amount, and then I think the 5th year it drops a little bit. And you have to work towards sustainability during those 5 years, looking to building those partnerships, looking for those opportunities. Like our partnership with CPI is a pretty good example. They came to us the other day and said, we're looking for grants to make sure that we can keep the doors open. I mean, there's not a lot out there right now, but that partnership really helps because you are working together to try to keep the doors open.
Any other questions?
So I'm asking for your support this evening.
Yeah.
We'll be submitting on February 2nd.
Great. So can I get a motion to approve the community schools grant?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with 1 absence.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Does this need to be left? Okay. There we go. Thank you all.
All right. Next up, we have reports and communications. Our student board members for Rancho Cotati, we have Samantha.
Good evening, and thank you for having me here tonight. Campus Life. Our RCHS marching band and music department had a concert in our theater. There were jazz, symphonic, and marching band performances with an incredible set list. On December 8th, we had our annual Winter Air Band rally. There were skits and dances from each class and the staff. We also had a fun spare activity on December 15th in the quad. There were tables set up for cookie decorating, where everyone was welcome to come out and decorate their cookies. Next, we had a free CalSkate night for all Rancho staff and students. At CalSkate, there were many different games and activities the whole night. Our ASB class sent out Google Forms to the student body with a sign-up sheet and a song and game request form. We had over 130 students and staff submit a response. These are photos from our Mecha Club. December 16th, they organized a Posada holiday celebration. They had piñatas, Christmas caroling, cultural food, live music, and dancing. And then this event was celebrated for their cultural heritage and reinforced the values of compassion, empathy, and unity. This is a Take What You Need board. Our club EdCore went around the school hanging posters with sticky notes with positive affirmations for finals week. Many students were able to grab one for the week and help them through the finals. Student and staff appreciation. Athlete of the week, congratulations to Adam Pengel, Noah and Niels, Kiana Jackson, Xenia Zabaneth, and Oscar Espinoza. These student athletes have stood out in their sports, basketball, soccer, and wrestling, for being a great teammate in and outside of their sport. Talent of the weeks, congratulations to Sophie Butler, Mr. Corsi, and Ivy Ramirez. These students and staff have showcased their talents in many ways that bring them happiness. Congratulations to our staff spotlights, Ms. Ghazi-Khanian, Mr. Slade, and Ms. Erler. These teachers are supportive to all of their students. Upcoming. Today we had Clubs Rush. Our ASB class produced our second Clubs Rush for the spring. Many different clubs came out for students to see and join. Each club got a chance to speak about what they do, and there were a lot of student involvement today. These are photos from our ASB class during Unity Week preparation. Unity Week will be held February 20th to the 22nd. Student leaders are seen making posters and contacting presenters. Every year, numerous presenters come to Rancho Cotati to showcase their culture to our student body with presentation, dances, and more. We contact local people, and we even have many presenters from our school or that they are Rancho alumni. And then we're also having our assembly February 23rd, where we'll have different performances, a fashion show showcasing our students and their culture. Thank you.
Thank you. Looks like you guys had a lot of fun right before the holidays.
Yeah.
All right. For Technology High, we have Naomi Hernandez.
Good evening, and thank you for having me. As this new year begins, we have a lot that we're hoping to accomplish this year, and also we have had a lot of events pastly. So first, I would like to showcase to you guys, this is Eileen's club. She's a senior, and she's also a senior representative. She began this club, which is the Multicultural Cuisine Club. And basically, we as students, we're trying to bring a little bit more of diverse into our school, and she's accomplishing this by showcasing, by doing it with food, because food is lovely, and it just helps like showcase our cultures by having food, and that's what they've been doing. I believe this is like the second time, and then they're planning to do it one tomorrow, and they have their meetings during lunch, and then each of them bring like something from their culture and share more about their experience. And it's very lovely to see the student body have these incredible memories and trying to expand their knowledge and their cultures. And then also, as a senior, this was an incredible event. This was hosted by our senior representatives, Elisha, Eileen, and Alex, and they've all did an amazing job planning this event. They had strawberries. They were making these pancakes like right there, And then it was nice seeing the senior bond for like, these are like our last moments, and it's super nice like getting to know like more with spending like a little bit more time with our seniors. And it's just very nice seeing. We also had like juice, and then it was very lovely. We did this before, it was during finals week, and it was nice. It was very lovely. And then also I had the opportunity to attend the THS winter concert. Ms. Eggering, she's our band instructor, and she does amazing job. And then as you can see, first we had the performance of the jazz club perform, and they did an incredible job performing. And then we had our band have their winter performance, and it was very lovely. And also they had a concert. They were a few of our students, Damon, Ivy, Sebastian, Michael, as you can see right here. They performed at SSU at the Green Music Center. And actually, two of our students have been selected, Damien and Samuel. They were selected to go they're gonna play at a concert at Sacramento, and it's focused on band programs, small school programs, and it's all state. So we're very proud of them for accomplishing that. And then this is just getting ready for our winter rally, which was last year. ASB had a performance. They were planning to do, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mean Girls, but they tried to do the Jingle Bell, and it was very funny. And then it's just us testing out some of the games that we were planning. We did the shoelace, and I actually had to, I participated on it, and now one of my shoelaces is a little bit off because it really got, so it was really fun. And then throughout we had a spirit week, and then we had like these little cute stations each day. Like one day was where we had like cards that students were able to make to their friends, to their loved ones. We provided like this like gift cards that they can do, and then also we had some ornaments. I don't know if you're able to see. And then we also had during finals our PTSA donated, and we had like hot chocolate and tea for students, as it has been very cold the past few days, and it was very nice. And then also we had our spirit week days. One day was pajama day, and then there was a rhyming day. There was like for example like umbrella and Cinderella, so you had to dress with someone. And then we have our also our Miss Juarez, our counselor, and then April, and then Sarah showing. And then also we had a day where it was like dress, if you're senior, to dress like a senior, and then freshmen, as you can see, dress up like as a baby because they're just coming in. And here's just we had the Grinch actually come to our winter rally, and it was just wonderful. It was a very lovely time to get together for the last time of the year. And then right now, our main focus, it is our drama is performing, and they're having their Chicago play, which I invite you guys all to come and purchase your tickets. It's gonna be here. They had a performance at the rally, and they're very hardworking, and our teacher, Ms. Walters, she's working very hard with the students, spending days, and just working for this to accomplish and just be an amazing. And then here, you're also able to check them out on Instagram, Tech High Drama, and you can see they've been promoting, and they have like these videos and more pictures to showcase the effort the students are making. And then just some upcoming events. Here's just, this is a picture taken during one of our ASB meetings where we talk about what we're planning to do. And it's just, so right now, we're planning on doing a mixer, which is another, it's for students to get. So we're having like a little bake sales to raise money. And then also we're having a blood drive on February 6th. And then also we're planning on having like a mini spirit day for Valentine's Day. just like cute, like dressed to impress, like wearing red or pink. It's the day of love, so showing like loving everybody. And then also, they're planning Valentine's Fair. It is an event that I did 2 years ago, and then it's just selling bears. Like the students are able to purchase to their friends, and they receive like this cute letter. And now we're bringing it back. Another classmate is following the tradition, and he's working on that. And they're actually including like a package like of having like a few students sing a song, deliver, and they just come up to the classroom and they just start singing. So we're looking forward to that. And also ASB has began planning the next ASB elections for the year 2024-2025, which as a senior, it's so sad how soon the school year is going by. But yeah, we have started planning that. And that is it for today's report. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, trustee reports on activities. Trustee Johnson.
Okay, so the holidays were wonderful. I only got a chance to see 2 schools, and one was THS with your winter concert, which was fantastic. And then Monte Vista, they had a cute little thing going on in the morning, so their holiday show. So I got to be entertained by our lovely schools.
Great. Trustee Nelson?
Yeah, so I guess the first thing, one of our students, I think it was Naomi, mentioned it's been cold recently. And I just found out that there's actual heating on the stage available. So can we turn the heater up? It is freezing up here.
It is freezing up here.
Yeah. So since we met last, been to an LCAP meeting and a DLAC meeting. So moving forward in those 2 areas, like to encourage, especially for the DLAC meeting, some of our older students, as well as parent participation for that. I think we had a pretty good representation in our LCAP meeting for varied variety of inputs there as far as ages and groups. And then we have an LCAP meeting coming up next week, I think, it's on the 5th, maybe 2 weeks from yesterday. So looking forward to that.
Trustee Brown? All right. I feel like it's been forever since our last meeting, so I went to the LCAP meeting as well with Trustee Nelson, and it was great to see some students there, which was fantastic because that's who we're all here to assist with anyway, so that was wonderful. President, Superintendent Ituri, John and I went to the City Council meeting to give them information about the ballot measure that is coming up. So if you want more information about that, you can go online to the website. If you go to the school district's website, it'll give you more just basic information. So, and then I got to join Shirley at the Monte Vista Holiday Extravaganza as well. So that's always puts me in the holiday mood, and the students do a wonderful job. So, yeah, that's it. I'm sure there's many more, but that's it for now. So, superintendent report.
All right. So I have been lucky to be out at several school sites. I made it to Hahn, Reed, Crane, El Camino, and UELF and Rancho Cotati this month, and I increased my visits to Rancho Cotati to twice a month because there's just so much to see. And I was able to get in. I walked the campuses with the principals, was able to hear them narrate their campus, and that was amazing. Also in the classrooms, and saw some amazing instruction, lots of connections with teachers and students, really engaging. And then I was able to observe some PLCs, which was really great. I wanted to let Dr. Pilar know that some of those PLCs that I visited should be videoed because they were super engaged and really talking about kids and how to improve whatever it is that they were delivering. And teachers were encouraging to each other and providing each other with resources. It was really quite extraordinary to watch. So it's been great. And my goal is to be at every school site every month. So we'll see if we can keep up the pace. I know Rochelle's really happy about it. I also, with Josh Cutler, Mr. Cutler, was able to go to a couple of preschools and talk about our programs and encourage them to enroll with Cotati Roanoke Park. And as President Wing mentioned, we went to the City Council meeting to inform them on our ballot measure and the importance of that. We, in our planning and cabinet and extended cabinet, we've been talking quite a bit about professional development and our professional development plans coming up for August, and we're excited about that. And we have some robust offerings for our teaching staff and really listening to the things that they want to have be a part of their learning. So we're excited about that. And my 100-day summary is coming out in the newsletter for the community and everyone, and there'll be a link in the newsletter to that. And then we're looking forward to being trained in the interest-based bargaining happening in February. As labor and management comes together, so I'm very excited about that. We also have a safety conversation and safety training coming up to make sure that we're prepared for whatever might occur. And then I'm excited about the Chicago play as well. So, thank you.
Yeah. And there are no Williams complaints, correct?
Thank you. Correct. No Williams complaints.
Next, we have the Roanoke Park Cotati Educators Report. I'd like to invite up Lisa Bauman.
This is Bob. There, okay. Hi, everyone. Good evening and Happy New Year. It has been a long time, it feels like. And I think I missed the last meeting because I was getting ready to travel. So it's nice to be back here. We in RIPSIA have hit the ground running in 2024. I already feel like a month has gone by and it's only been a couple of weeks. We started with the Professional Development Day, which was really nice to come back and have a day without students, but to get us in the right frame of mind for meeting and greeting those students with open arms the next day. Teachers spent the morning in their divisions learning about ELD strategies. And so the elementary teachers were grouped together, I believe, and then the middle schools were grouped together and the high schools were grouped together. And then we had the afternoons to actually go back to our sites, and we had some planning time and we had time to collaborate. And that was really appreciated by teachers to help them prepare for the return the next day, but also to give them an opportunity to figure out how they're going to use this new information in their classrooms. We really appreciate that the district team has been really responsive to our feedback regarding professional development. As Superintendent Ituri mentioned, we've been working together a lot with Dr. Fields and really trying to come up with good quality professional development that people are super excited about and engaged with, and that we can transfer into our classrooms quickly. We're also pleased to see a new approach to this time to include teacher choice is one of the things that we've been talking about, and time to implement that. So like with those afternoon sessions in our classrooms and with our teams is really nice. Coming up tomorrow, Rancho Cotati counselors have been visiting middle schools this week as the first orientation for our 8th graders to high school, if you can believe that. And to talk to them about enrolling in classes for next year. So we actually will have LJ students on campus tomorrow for a step-up day, and TMS and Thomas Page will come on Thursday. They start with a presentation in the gym or the theater, I can't remember which, and then they actually get to tour around classes. So it's a pretty exciting time for 8th graders to get a sneak peek at what high school is like. They're probably a little scared too, I would imagine, but it's pretty fun and energetic. So along with this, Rancho is having an open house this Thursday at 5:30 that you're all welcome to attend. I'm sorry, it's at 6. The evening serves both as an opportunity for parents and caregivers to meet their children's new teachers, because at Rancho we're on the 4x4, so we have all new students this semester. As well as it's a showcase for all of our new families to come and see what the high school is like, and potential families that might be, looking at our district as a potential place to send their children. Every department's going to be set up in the TAG building. We'll have tables and be displaying student work and be there to talk about our programs and our classes. Also at Rancho this month, the Art and Design Academy launched at the high school. So this is a brand new freshman academy that we have. So in this academy, 9th grade students are learning about the impact of design and creation on our modern world, as well as the impact of art and design historically. Students study the language of design and how it impacts products and services. So far, students in this new academy have learned about color theory and design vocabulary, researched the impact of Greek and Roman innovations on history, and designed their own phone stands out of foam core. And that's only been 2 weeks. So the academy team is planning field trips to analyze architecture, as well as an academy picnic to showcase some of the students' work. This academy introduces students to the vast career and technical education programs available at Rancho Cotati High School, and is just one of the many academies that make the Rancho experience unique. And the teachers involved in this new academy are Deborah B., Cole Smith, Valerie Gansler, and Emily King. And I have a little bit of overlap with one of the student board reports. I wanted to make sure that we highlighted all of the music students that competed this month for the Sonoma County Honor Band and the Northern California Honor Band. So the choir, Northern California Honor Choir. So between the two high schools, we have had 11 students that were selected to the Sonoma County Honor Band. We had 4 that were selected for the Northern California Honor Band, and then we had 4 that were selected for the choir. So that's pretty great. It's really exciting. We should be proud of both Dustin and Jenna for all of their hard work with those students. On Friday, so we've got a busy schedule, the district labor management team will have our second meeting. At our last meeting, we drafted our purpose statement as well as worked on our top 3 priorities. So just to kind of remind you what this group is it's a joint partnership of the school board, the district, and labor representatives. And our goal is to empower all employees to engage in collective problem solving. Our partnership is built on trust, respect, equity, and transparency to collaboratively solve challenges, improve student achievement and success, as well as enhance the teaching and working environment for all staff. Our aim is to improve student achievement and success, as well as enhance, I think I said that twice. We will work together to ensure all voices are heard and everyone is valued. So we worked together at the last meeting to come up with that purpose statement. So on Friday's meeting, we'll be working on those top 3 things that we identified, and that includes consistent messaging, building trust, and collaboration. And I would say that our training with CalMI has been really productive, and that we're doing the hard work necessary to develop a true partnership, which is what our goal is. Next on our list, RIPSIA and CRPUSD are co-hosting a special education roundtable. I think I may have mentioned this at the last meeting that it was coming up. We invited all ed specialists, SLPs, so our speech language therapists, and our adaptive PE teachers, and we'll be utilizing the processes that we've been learning in the CalMI group to discuss the many challenges to serving the needs of our special education students and their teachers. This will build on discussions, research, and surveys that RIPSIA has been conducting in recent years. And the goal is to come up with some tangible solutions to reduce the amount of stress our education specialists are experiencing so that they can better serve our students. Also coming up, and this is all like in the next week, it's crazy. All 3 labor groups and district management will be receiving training in interest-based bargaining on February 5th and 6th. Maite mentioned this. But last week, Ginny Mason, RIPSIA's lead negotiator, and I met with the president of Napa Valley Educators Association. Napa Unified has been doing IBB since 1985, so they're pros at it. And we had a great discussion with her, and we feel really enthusiastic about the potential for IBB in our district. It falls directly in line with our work with CalMI, by providing a problem-based approach to addressing the working conditions of our labor members and our students. Finally, this one's for you, John. I'm sure we've all been following what's been happening with the governor's budget. While it was a relief to hear it's not as bad as expected, and it doesn't look like there will be any cuts to education funding, the lack of COLA is concerning, to say the least. One of our priorities in RIPSIA remains increasing teacher salaries to reflect both the hard work we do and the high cost of living in Sonoma County. As a district, we need to continue to be able to attract talented teachers, and we need to be committed to retain the dedicated, high-quality teachers we already have. We hope that with our work with CalMI and the IBB training, that we can work together to come up with a favorable outcome for everyone. That's it. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you. Any questions?
What does IBP stand for?
IBB, interest-based bargaining.
Oh.
So it's, and the teacher from Napa, they actually call it interest-based problem solving. So because we're not bargaining, we're not going back and forth, it's actually a partnership in identifying shared concerns and brainstorming solutions together. So we all share a common interest, and that is the foundation of changes that we make to the contract, to working conditions, et cetera. You're welcome. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. Thank
All
you.
right, thanks so much. Have a good evening.
You too. All right. There is no report from California School Employees Association or Service Employees International. So next we have receipt of official correspondence. This goes first interim report.
We appreciate the county's approval of our first interim report, and that's what the letter says.
Yep. Great. All right. There's no public comment, so we move to the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve items 8A through Q? Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with 1 absence. We will now take a 5-minute break. We'll come back at 7:30. Yep. All right. call the meeting back to order. There is no educational or personnel services, so next will be item 11, approval of emergency repair to Rancho Cotati High School kitchen. John.
I have Josh to back me up here, but we found out in November there was some problem with the Rancho Cotati kitchen, and there was some sewage backing up into the drains and the sinks, and it was kind of gross. We come to find out that the pipes had eroded to the point where they weren't connecting anymore. So, we've been working on it, and actually the work is going to be done pretty quick here, hopefully in the next couple weeks. But we need the board to deem the project as an emergency because we bypassed some of the kind of the bidding stuff, and and we found out we could do this before we did it, but this is the result. Is there anything to add there, Josh? Yeah. If there are any questions, we can answer them.
Are there any questions or? Great. All right. Can I get a motion to approve the emergency repair to Rancho Cotati High School kitchen?
I so move.
Can I get a second?
I second. Tag, you're it.
All right, there you
He gets it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absence. Fiscal and planning fiscal update and planning.
So I have a couple updates. As usual, the budget update through December. If there are any questions, I'll gladly answer them. But I have an enrollment update. As through December, we had a net difference of students, so we lost 10 students. Most of those are from early graduation at the high school level,
Happens every
9
year.
to be exact. So we had 27 exit this month. Two went to private or charter schools. 3 went out of the county. 1 to Italy. I thought that was interesting. 5 to schools within the county, and then 17 for other, and 9 of those include early grads. And then we had 10 enter the district, 1 from a private school, 8 from out of the county, 1 from within the county, and then 7 other. For a net total of negative 10 students, so 6,160. And that's still more than what our CBEDS number, which was 6,148.
Oh, okay.
Which is also good news because we also have a report on the P1 attendance of ADA, which covers July 17th through December 22nd. And we had a total of 5,763.14 ADA, which is about 93.7%.
Okay, we're going up.
So that is up. It's still a little lower than our historical averages, but we're creeping up there. And like I said, 6,160 is more than our CBEDS number, which is what this is based on. So we still have an opportunity. Generally you see from P1 to P2, which is what the big, what we get funded on, go down. The ADA goes down generally, historically. And but last year was an anomaly where that didn't happen. It actually went up, and I think it has to do with the attendance that we're talking about. So it's all good. I mean, at this point, it's a little bit more than what we were expecting, or what we were projecting, and we'd still like it to be where we were historically or have been historically, but.
Well, and do we think too, with the COVID guidelines changing, that kids don't have to stay home?
Right.
Healthy kids don't have to stay home as
Yeah.
long as they were before, so hopefully that'll bump it up as well a little bit.
I think so. Have an opinion.
Yep. Good.
I'll have a report, I'm gonna report from the dais, but, about the governor's budget.
Okay. John, I have one quick question. So when someone enrolls and then they just don't show up, at what point do we drop them off the list?
Yeah, within the month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sometimes, if it does cross, that's one of the things that I report on.
Yeah.
but
Okay. So we don't have
Pretty
someone
quick.
that like enrolled in
Right.
August and they're still on the
Yeah.
list somewhere just
That's
hanging
the
out.
big hiccup at the beginning of the
Yeah.
year, which we, don't catch maybe until September.
Yep. Okay.
Right. So last Wednesday, I attended the school services budget workshop on the governor's budget that was released earlier in the month. All right.
John, is there also another one coming up on the 29th at the county office?
Yeah, that's maybe capital advisors. I'm not sure.
Right, capital advisors. Are
yeah.
they gonna be going over the same thing? Or?
Yeah, they look at it more from a legislative analyst or, legislature's perspective. This is the governor, so
Right.
there's many perspectives when it comes to this thing, so
Who do we believe?
yeah.
Okay, bring the 8-ball.
All right, so the major themes, I think the first bullet point is the main theme of the governor's budget, $37.9 billion shortfall, mainly due to the 2022 tax collections well below the budget's assumptions. If you remember, the taxes weren't due and, weren't collected in April because they weren't due. They moved it to October and then ultimately until November, so we didn't really know what the ramifications of that were, and it turned out to be they collected well below what they thought. The governor is projecting to protect the education budget, which is Prop 98, against the, so I've been trying to explain this a couple ways today, but so the governor's budget is a 3-year budget cycle, and there's a minimum guarantee that Prop 98 or the education budget gets. And there's this concept about because the 22 income taxes were so low, they gave us too much money in 22-23. So they have the right to recoup that. The governor's saying they're not going to do that at this point, and maybe they'll take it out over the next several years. That's not clear, but so technically they gave us too much money, which means they have the right to collect it. And at a 0.76 COLA, which is what is the big news here. They can. I'll go over some of this, but that's the kind of the main thing here. They can make their way to give us the money if it's a 0.76 COLA, and it's not going to be a 0.76 COLA because they don't have all the data yet. It will likely be a little bit more, but depending on what that is and how much that's going to cost the state, the governor, can say, well, you actually owe us money, so we can't pay you that. All of that's unclear at this point, but he's saying that he wants to protect the education budget against that $12 million reduction in Prop 98, what I was just explaining. And those are the reasons. So, we want to keep the education profession attractive, and the governor's focus is supposed to be on students. So anyway, he has one of the themes is that his budget uses less pessimistic revenue assumptions than the LAO, which is the Legislative Analyst's Office, and I'll go into a little more detail on some of those things. So some of the good news is that there have been historic increases in education funding through 21, 22, and the state is better prepared to weather a downturn, which we're in, because they've been able to save some money and have a reserve, which is why it's important to have reserves, because maybe we will be able to weather a 0.76 COLA if that's what it comes down to, because we have a reserve a little bit more than what the required level is. Bad news is that $26 billion shortfall, and the governor's solution to mitigate the shortfall is unprecedented, and we don't quite understand it, because I just tried to explain it to you in the most layman terms possible, and it's still confusing, I'm sure. So he's not proposing any new cuts or deferrals, which is great, which is a cash issue, and to the K-12 education. A lot of the revenue spikes were used for one-time, or in 21, 22 were used for one-time purposes, and it's debatable, but they're paying dividends. We're addressing what we can address due to the COVID pandemic, and if we didn't have the money, we might be a little farther behind than we are currently. So, but the bad news is that we're facing a COLA-only year where statutory COLA is significantly less than what we even said in June of this year, or of last year, excuse me, and beyond.
John, I just want to clarify one thing on the last
Yeah.
slide. When you say that the revenue spike, the one-time funds are now paying dividends, you mean that in the we were able to do things and mitigate learning loss, not dividends as in we invested it and we're now
Right,
getting
yeah,
dividends, right? Okay,
yeah,
just wanted to
yeah.
make sure, because I dividends mean money in my world. so-
Agreed.
Okay.
So the governor's budget versus the legislative analyst's outlook is a little different. He's a little bit less pessimistic on what the big three will bring in: personal income tax, corporation tax, and sales use tax. And you could see some of the differences here. Yeah. No matter what, Proposition 98 over time, or the education budget, has increased over time, and it's evident in this graphic. This is just a graph of the historical statutory COLAs. The statutory COLA for next year feels anomalous, relative to what we've been seeing, but actually it's the COLAs that are above 6% that are the actual anomalies. We're going back to what it's been historically, 0.76, which it won't wind up being, like I said before. Seems a little low, but so just to be clear, we have no control over the COLA, and neither does the state of California. It's a Department of Finance. It's not as related to the state's financial health. It's computed using federally aggregated metrics. It's a percentage, again, that we don't have control over, but the governor and legislature must still determine whether it has sufficient money to cover the COLA in our case.
So, John, question. The 0.76% COLA for January 24, is that a forecasted number?
Forecast, yeah.
Okay. When will that forecasted number turn into a real number?
Yeah, so
is that in June?
Right.
As long as they
It'll
pass
probably
their
be
budget?
May. We'll know a little bit more in May, because the last two data points are the fourth quarter aggregate, which is last December, and the first quarter of this year. they're part of the formula on how you get to the COLA. And the 0.76 is based on those two data points being 0, which is not likely to happen.
And then second question, our COLA is based on what, just our general fund portion of our budget?
No. Oh. You mean, what does the COLA?
So
what
we've
is
got
it?
different buckets. We've got our federal funds.
Yeah, I have a slide on that, actually.
We've got our funds.
What
that come
does the
from
COLA apply
ADA
to?
type of thing, and then
Right.
you have other stuff. So obviously, COLA doesn't come in on any money from lottery or other contributions we get from the casinos.
There's only,
so if you take our total budget,
yeah, multiply it by the COLA, that's not.
it doesn't do that. So you're taking a portion of our budget.
Yeah.
So I guess my question going down the road is, what percent of our budget?
Yeah.
Will
That's a
be-
good question. I could probably figure that out.
Can you bring that back to us?
Sure.
Because then you can look at it. Okay, last year, let's just say it's 50 million. I mean, for an example, and last year was 8%.
Yeah.
Roughly
8.22.
So I mean, if you round
This
it up,
year.
if you round up for an example, instead of being 10% would be 5 million. So maybe it was 4.5 million, and then this year, 1% is going to be 500,000.
Yeah, I understand the question.
So
I can figure that out. if that's
Significant
important.
difference.
It's what's applied. The COLA is what's applied to the in our case, the local control funding formula, and I have a slide about what that looks like. And it's applied to some of our categorical programs, which I also am noting in here for you to see. So,
And
but
then
I could
COLA then too, just a general discussion. COLA is intended, to correct me if I'm wrong, to kind of put up with your ongoing growth in expenses, whether it be PG&E, salaries,
Right.
benefits, insurance, whatever. So if those cost categories grow more than COLA, then we have a deficit
Mhm.
spending to keep up with that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
So what's not in his budget as of in January is any Proposition 98 cuts. We said that already. No deferrals, which is they're not going to delay giving us any of the money that they owe us. And as of right now, he's not talking about cutting any categoricals or sweeping any other monies that they're promising us at this point. So here's part of the answer to your question. What a 0.76 COLA actually nets us in the formula. You could see in the second line there, it's between $75 and $91, depending on which 88 bucket we're talking about. And for us, we're looking at this point, at first interim, our 24-25 projected ADA was 5,772 for a total of LCFF total revenue of 72.6 million, and this is roughly a $2.27 million difference than what we budgeted for next year at both budget and first interim. So, again, the importance of reserves is so that we can take some time to make decisions on cuts if we need to make them, which we'll have to address. So these are some of the state categorical programs that receive COLA. The ones that apply to us would be child nutrition, mandated block grant, which is a little bit special ed. So
you just answered my question. You had your slide done.
Oh yeah,
That was quick. How did you do that so quick?
But I thought I still think you were looking for
no.
what
You
percent?
go right back there. That
Okay,
answered
all right,
it. So if you go back to that slide,
yeah.
I mean, so $65 million of our total budget is going to get that. I think our total budget's what, 98 or something.
Oh, no.
What? Correct me.
No, I'm sorry. This is from a state perspective. So these are some of the categorical programs. These are the
okay.
categorical
Okay, I
programs.
thought this
that-
was our budget. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The categorical programs that will receive
Okay.
COLA. Not all categorical
You should have
programs.
just said, yeah.
Yeah.
That's your answer. Thanks. So those are the budgets that they apply COLA to.
Yes.
And then we extrapolate that to our budget, and then
Yeah.
we can see what the
Exactly.
impact is.
I still know what the assignment is, and I'll get it to you. So this is a chart I show you guys most every time. You could see, huge difference in what the COLA is this year to next. And even 25, 26 is projected a little lower than what, we had at budget time and first interim for that matter. We're still going to have a 10% reserve cap, and these are basically the reasons. Yeah, windfall. Yeah. Yeah. So, the road ahead. I hate to kind of focus on the negative, but there's a multi-billion-dollar budget deficit, and thankfully the governor's not asking education to cover that shortfall. A lot of work that the legislature and the governor need to do to get this budget finalized. We'll see what happens in May. I mean, I think I covered what could happen. At this point, with a point, they can cover a 0.6776 COLA with some of the reserves that they have, and the idea is to cover it. And if it happens to be more, they overpaid us, so they can say we're not going to fund it. I'll know more I'll know more in May, but it's a very confusing time because there are many unanswered questions. But it's not looking good. 0.76 is probably the worst it's going to be, but whether they can fund more than that at a state level is really up to them to decide. And we're so reliant on the state of California they provide the overwhelming majority of our funding, so we're a little stuck.
And then again, our forecast, COLA was at 3%.
Almost 4, yeah.
Almost 4.
3.93.
Okay.
Any questions?
Oh, thank you for the presentation. You said that if we may have to make cuts, and what is the process for that? I'm new to the board.
Yeah. We, the budget advisory group generally has historically, that's been their charge, is to come up with recommendations for the board to consider. That's where we can really drill down on some stuff, but like I said, 2 years ago, before we knew we were going to get all this one-time money and all this, windfalls of LCFF increases, we were trying to find $2 million in that committee, and we didn't. We had a really hard time finding anything to cut that really makes a difference, really cuts into that number. So, any other questions?
It's good that we have some reserve now that
Yeah.
fall back on, kind of
Yes.
like the
That's-
state
yeah,
does.
that's
If
what I
we
keep
did
saying.
not have any reserve,
Right.
we'd be in a more difficult situation.
Agreed. Yeah, we can ride the storm out, and hopefully we come out. Hope's not a strategy, but things turn around, or it's very hard to project 2-3 years into the future. I mean, that's the I'll present to you what it looks like based on the information that we have at the time, but anything can happen. Hopefully the economy turns around and we see a little better numbers.
John, do you know when the next budget meeting is?
Yeah, since it'll be in February.
Okay.
Third week generally.
That's what I
Third
thought.
Thursday.
All right. Thanks. Okay. All right. Thanks, John. I'm going to put you at the end from now on because you just tell me what the quote is before we make the agenda, and then we'll decide where we're going to put you on the list. How's that? All right. Back in November, the board had a study session. We were fortunate enough to have a consultant come out and work with us on updating the governance handbook. So that is being brought to the board for approval tonight. Superintendent Tur, did you have anything to add, or that's?
No, we took all the recommendations and added them to the handbook, and I think we have a pretty solid document moving forward, and we'll revisit it again next year.
Yeah. Any questions or discussion? I ate a lot that night, so anything else? All right. Can I get a motion to approve the governance handbook?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absence. Item C, approval of resolution 2023-9, African American History Month.
Yeah, we want the times that we bring resolutions forward to honor groups in our country, and this is Black History Month coming up in February, and we want to acknowledge the contributions of our fellow Americans, and this is a resolution doing that. So
wonderful.
We ask for your approval.
Cool. And then because our next board meeting will be in the middle of February, if any of the high schools or anyone is doing anything to honor that, can you guys just make sure to let us know?
Yes.
As much in
Yes.
advance. So I think that'd be
Thank
cool.
you.
Can I get a motion to approve resolution 2023-9, African American History Month?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call. You get to do it now.
It's warm, right? Hold on to it.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Trustee Wing.
Yes. All right, for items D through I, these are the first reading of board policies and administrative regulations. Are there any questions or discussions on those? Just D through I. All right, then here we go. First reading of BP and AR 0460, Local Control and Accountability Plan. Item E, first reading of AR 1220, Citizens Advisory Committees. Item F, first reading of BP and AR 3400, Management of District Assets and Accounts. Item G, first reading of BP 5116.2, Involuntary Student Transfers. Item H, first reading of BP and AR 5131.2, Bullying. And item I, first reading of Board Bylaw and Exhibit 9321, Closed Session. For items J through N and P through R, are there any discussions or questions? All right. I make a motion to approve BP 0410, Non-Discrimination in District Programs and Activities. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absence. I make a motion to approve BPAR and Exhibit 1 1312.2, Complaints Concerning Instructional Materials. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absence. Item L, I make a motion to approve BP and AR 1312.3, Uniform Complaint Procedures. Can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absence. I make a motion to approve AR Exhibit 1 and Exhibit 2 of 1312.4 Williams Uniform Complaint Procedures. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. I make a motion to approve BP 5145.3 Non-Discrimination and Harassment. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absence. I make a motion to approve BPAR and Exhibit 1, 6161.1, Selection and Evaluation of Instructional Materials. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. I make a motion to approve BP 6161.11 Supplementary Instructional Materials. Can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absence. I make a motion to approve BP 6163.1 Library Media Centers. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absence. Acceptance of gifts and donations to schools and districts.
We had a number of donations. Matt Gasser from donated quite a few items to Evergreen, ranging from sketchbooks to toys to T-shirts, books, and puzzles. We also had a donation from the Roanoke Park Rotary Club for 2 peace poles, one at Marguerite Hahn and the other at Thomas Page. So those polls will be going up, and I think UELF is also will be coming forward soon. And we had a monetary donation from Alan and Donna Johnson, and these donations totaled $43,430. So we thank our community members for all their donations.
Yes.
Super.
Thank you. Okay, a motion to approve the acceptance of gifts and donations.
I'll move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. Any future business or agenda items? Trustee Johnson.
None, thank you.
Trustee Nelson?
I know we're working on additional security measures, so.
Meeting coming up.
We have a meeting coming up on January 30th. It's a discussion meeting where we'll be able to talk about the direction and what things we want to see and how we want to move forward.
Yep. Trustee Brown?
Nope.
All right. I just want to remind everyone we have the discussion meeting on January 30th at the Tech Library or Tech Middle Library, right? No. It's at Labath. Oh, see, this is why we do this, people.
You're trying to get me to go the
I'm
wrong
trying to
place.
get you to go the wrong place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Very easy. Okay.
So we will do that on January 30th. And then just a reminder for the public and for us, we will record and put on YouTube our regularly scheduled meetings. We will not be recording our discussion meetings and study session meetings for no other reason than it just is a logistical challenge when we don't hold things here, having the cameras there in our backs and everything like that. It's just, it doesn't add value. People can't hear. So just a reminder, if you want to come, please join us on January 30th. But we'll, in our meeting updates and newsletters, we will inform the public of how those meetings went in case you can't go. Otherwise, anything else? All right, that is it. A meeting adjourned.